before you even think about a thing, you have an intention for the thing, and that the intention is going to determine the outcome.
Oprah Winfrey is known as America's sweetheart and the talk show queen who hands out cars like holiday gifts. But beneath her well-known smile and uplifting words, there are unexpected secrets. You might think you know everything about her rise from poverty to wealth, but you don't. In this video, we'll uncover the top 15 dark secrets Oprah has tried to keep hidden. Prepare to be shocked by the untold story of this beloved billionaire. Get ready to learn the truth that was supposed to stay buried forever. Number 1, the car giveaway. In 2004, Oprah Winfrey created one of TV's most memorable moments during her show's 19th season premiere by surprising didn't pay for the cars herself. Instead, they were provided by General Motors, GM, the company that owns Ponce. The company spent about $7.7 million on this campaign, with each car costing around $28,000. This was part of GM's advertising budget, not something Oprah or her show paid for directly. The audience at this special episode. What wasn't obvious during the celebration was the financial responsibility that came with the new cars. According to U.S. tax law, winning a car is considered taxable income. This meant the recipients had to pay federal and state taxes based on the value of the Pontiac G6, which was about $7,000 at the time. For many, this unexpected tax bill became a significant burden. Although General Motors covered the sales tax, the recipients were still responsible for the income tax. But there's more to the story. The surprises ahead might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about Oprah Winfrey. Keep watching, because what comes next could leave you stunned. Number 2. Oprah had a difficult childhood. Oprah Winfrey's childhood was far from typical. After being raised by her strict but loving grandmother, Oprah's life changed when her mother, Vernita Lee, moved her to Milwaukee at age 6. This move was tough for Oprah as she adjusted from her quiet rural life to a new, unfamiliar city. As she grew up, Oprah became more rebellious. She often clashed with her mother, who struggled to support Oprah and her siblings while working as a maid. The financial strain and the difference between their lives led to Oprah's defiance. Feeling out of place among wealthier peers, Oprah began stealing money from her mother. This was her way of trying to fit in with the affluent lives she saw around her. Oprah's behavior worsened when she was a teenager. She ran away from home and got involved in risky activities. At just 14, Oprah became pregnant, and sadly, her baby died shortly after birth. This tragedy made her relationship with her mother even worse, leading Vernita to send Oprah to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey, in Nashville. Living with her father brought Oprah stability and discipline. Vernon, a strict but caring man, stressed the importance of education and hard work. He set high expectations for Oprah and insisted on her best effort. This new environment helped Oprah thrive. She excelled in school, became an honors student, and was recognized as the most popular girl at her high school. Her success continued as she achieved national recognition in dramatic interpretation with the speech team. Number 3. Oprah Winfrey's views on spirituality. Let's be clear, this isn't about criticizing any religion. All religions are respected here. The focus is on the truth behind Oprah's actual spiritual beliefs. Oprah's approach to spirituality is like a complex, controversial piece of art. For some, it's a confusing mix that doesn't align with traditional religious teachings. Picture making a smoothie with oranges, steak, and marshmallows. It's not what you'd expect, right? That's how Oprah's spiritual beliefs come across. She combines traditional Christianity with elements of Sufism, New Age ideas, and a strong emphasis on self-empowerment, creating a mix that leaves many people puzzled. Oprah's spiritual journey began with Christianity. She's spoken openly about her Christian faith, regularly reading the Bible and mentioning Jesus. However, she doesn't follow a typical path. Oprah often blends other beliefs into her spiritual practices. For instance, her mornings include reading not only the Bible, but also Sufi texts, mystical writings from Islamic tradition that explore divine love and the human soul. But that's not all. Oprah also incorporates New Age philosophy into her life, a modern movement focused on personal enlightenment, positive thinking, and the belief that everything is connected by a universal energy. This involves practices like using crystals, meditation, and the idea that our thoughts can shape our reality. Now here's where it gets complicated. Oprah claims to be a Christian, but she also says things like, "There are many paths to God." This idea doesn't align with the traditional Christian belief that Jesus is the only way to God. To some, it seems like she's exploring different spiritual practices rather than committing to one consistent faith. Number 4. How Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz influenced Oprah's career. Oprah Winfrey's career and impact in media and personal development have been greatly influenced by her work with Dr. Phil McGraw and Dr. Mehmet Oz. Both of them became well known through their frequent appearances on The Oprah Winfrey Show, which helped launch their own successful TV careers. Dr. Phil McGraw, a psychologist, started appearing regularly on Oprah's show in the late 1990s, giving advice on life and relationships. His mix of psychological insights and practical advice was popular with viewers. Oprah's show gave him a large audience, which led to the start of his own show, Dr. Phil, in 2002. Oprah's production company, Harpo Productions, played a key role in this transition, showing her influence in the careers of those she worked with. Dr. Mehmet Oz, a heart surgeon, also appeared often on Oprah's show starting in 2004. He talked about medical issues in a way that was easy for the public to understand. His segments covered various health topics, making complex medical information clear and useful. His popularity on the show led to the launch of the Dr. Oz Show in 2009, which was also produced by Harpo Productions. Like Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz's media career took off thanks to Oprah, who tends to support people whose work fits her goal of empowering her audience. Oprah's work with Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz shows how she uses her influence to promote experts who offer valuable content. This not only helped them start successful TV careers, but also enhanced her own brand and gave her audience reliable advice. Number 5. The Maui Fund controversy. Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson encountered heavy criticism after they launched the People's Fund of Maui to help those affected by the Maui wildfires. They initially donated $10 million combined to kickstart the fund, and then asked the public to contribute as well. This request quickly sparked backlash, especially on social media, where people questioned why two wealthy celebrities were asking for donations instead of contributing more themselves. Many felt it was out of touch to ask the public for money during tough economic times. Social media users on platforms like TikTok and Instagram voiced their frustration, pointing out that they were already struggling to make ends meet. Dwayne Johnson responded to the criticism, admitting he understood why people were upset, recalling his own experiences of living paycheck to paycheck. In response to the criticism, Winfrey defended the fund during an appearance on CBS Mornings. She explained that the idea came from Dolly Parton's My People Fund, which successfully provided direct financial help to victims of the Gatlinburg fires. Winfrey stressed that their goal was to give money directly to those in need, believing this approach would be effective based on Parton's success. Despite the backlash, Winfrey and Johnson continued to back the fund. Winfrey shared that, according to their latest updates, thousands of survivors had already started receiving the first round of funding, which was meant to provide immediate financial relief to those who had lost their homes. They hoped that, over time, this direct aid would be recognized as a positive effort, even though it faced initial controversy. But how effective will this funding be? Only time will tell. Number 6. Oprah Winfrey had a relationship with John Tesh. The TV personality dated Oprah Winfrey in the 1970s, a time when interracial relationships were still widely frowned upon. For Oprah, who was building her career in media, this relationship could have hurt her career and public image. They began their relationship while both were working in Nashville, Tennessee. Oprah was new to local TV and Tesh was a well-known news anchor. They lived together, but the social pressures and racial tensions became too much. Reports say that Tesh felt overwhelmed by the challenges of being in an interracial relationship and left Oprah suddenly, saying he was uncomfortable with their racial differences. Oprah was deeply hurt by Tesh's sudden departure because she had invested a lot emotionally in their relationship. His leaving made her feel rejected and betrayed, feelings she kept private for many years. She went on to have a successful career and became a major figure in television, but the pain from that relationship stayed with her. Even when details about their past appeared in a biography by Kitty Kelly, Oprah chose not to discuss it publicly. She wanted to keep this part of her life private to avoid judgment or scrutiny. Number 7. Why Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham never married. Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham have been in a relationship that has fascinated the public for over 30 years. Despite their long-term commitment, the couple has decided not to marry, a choice they've both discussed openly, linking it to their focus on personal and spiritual growth. Winfrey often refers to their relationship as a spiritual partnership, a concept she credits to author Gary Zukov. She highlights that their bond is based on mutual support and personal development. In several interviews, Winfrey has shared that traditional marriage roles wouldn't work for them. In a 2017 interview with Vogue, she explained that after their engagement in 1992, they never seriously considered marriage because the typical expectations of a husband and wife would conflict with their individual goals and careers. Winfrey openly said she thought the demands and daily responsibilities of marriage might have put a strain on their relationship, possibly even breaking it. On the surface, her reasons seem simple. She wanted Stedman's commitment but wasn't willing to make the traditional sacrifices and compromises that marriage requires. However, her reasoning might seem contradictory. On one hand, Oprah wanted to feel worthy of being Stedman's wife, which suggests she sought the recognition and validation from the proposal. Yet she also clearly rejects the responsibilities and compromises of marriage. It's like wanting the reward without doing the work. Oprah has also made it clear that her career, especially her show, is a higher priority for her than a traditional marriage. She might be worried about losing her independence, as marriage often means blending lives and giving up some personal freedom. Additionally, Oprah's public image could be a factor. As a media leader and inspirational figure, keeping a certain image might affect her personal choices. A traditional marriage might not fit with the strong, independent persona she has built over the years. While her decision to stay engaged but unmarried might seem charming, there could be more to it than meets the eye. Number 8. The troubling truth about Oprah Winfrey's Leadership School. When Oprah Winfrey started the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in 2007, she hoped it would be a special place for bright, underprivileged girls to become leaders in South Africa. However, life at the academy was far from perfect. The school had strict rules that greatly limited the girls' contact with their families. Visits were only allowed for 2 hours once a month, and phone calls and emails were tightly controlled. Many parents felt this limited interaction was like being in prison, causing stress for both the students and their families. Girls who missed home and struggled with the school's demands found it hard to cope with these strict rules. Despite the complaints, the school officials said these rules were needed for practical reasons. The academy's reputation was further damaged by claims of mismanagement and abuse by its leaders. Simon Mao, the former head of operations, shared troubling details about the school's environment. He described a culture of intimidation, victimization, and misuse of power, including derogatory comments and a general sense of fear and mistrust. The academy had problems from the start. Soon after opening, a scandal erupted involving Virginia Makapo, a school matron who was accused of sexually abusing several students. Oprah apologized to the victims and their families, drawing on her own experiences with abuse to show her support. Although Makapo was later acquitted, the incident revealed serious flaws in the academy's protective measures. Number 9. Use of NDAs to maintain confidentiality. Oprah Winfrey is very strict about using non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, to protect her privacy. She requires not only her main staff at Harpo, but also outside contractors like caterers, florists, and even veterinarians to sign these agreements. These NDAs last for life, making sure that any personal or professional details stay confidential forever. Legal experts say that while NDAs are common for celebrities to guard against media intrusion, Oprah's use of them is unusually strict. Andrew Chelly, a lawyer specializing in First Amendment rights in New York, mentions that these extensive NDAs might conflict with freedom of speech and could be considered excessive. The effects of these NDAs became clear when Elizabeth Cody, a former Harpo producer, tried to write a book about her experiences. The courts blocked her because of the lifetime confidentiality agreement she had signed. This has discouraged others from sharing their stories, keeping details about Oprah's personal and professional life tightly sealed. Oprah defends these agreements as necessary for her to trust the people around her. She says that without them, constant scrutiny could impact her ability to work effectively. With over 500 people bound by NDAs, it shows how serious Oprah is about her privacy. But is it only about protecting her privacy, or is it also about hiding potentially damaging secrets? Recently, Oprah has faced accusations of knowing about Harvey Weinstein's misconduct. Could this and other unknowns have come to light if she hadn't required NDAs? Only time will tell. Number 10. Oprah reveals why she chooses not to have children. The abuse and emotional neglect Oprah faced as a child greatly influenced her views on having children. She has said that her choice not to have kids comes from her own experiences of not being well cared for as a child. She feared that she might repeat the pain and neglect she experienced. Oprah's decision wasn't because she didn't want to care for a child, but because she was deeply aware of her own emotional wounds and how they might affect her ability to be the kind of mother she wanted to be. At 13, she ran away from home to escape the abuse, showing her desperation and strength. A year later, she became pregnant at 14, but her baby was born early and died shortly after. This loss, combined with her past trauma, reinforced her choice not to have children. The death of her son was a painful reminder of her vulnerabilities and confirmed her decision to stay childless. Number 11. Reported diva behavior. Oprah Winfrey's rise from humble beginnings to great success has inspired many. However, behind her successful image are stories that contrast sharply with her down-to-earth public persona. Claims of diva-like behavior have emerged, revealing a more controversial side of Oprah. One example is that Oprah sometimes refers to herself in the third person. For instance, she has been heard saying, "Oprah doesn't walk." While this might seem like a small quirk, speaking in the third person often suggests a sense of self-importance and a separation from ordinary experiences, which can come across as diva behavior. It's a subtle way of creating a larger-than-life image. There are also claims about Oprah's daily routine that are quite revealing. For example, it's said that an aide helps her put on her boots by kneeling. This action shows a power imbalance, with the aide in a subservient role, which contrasts sharply with Oprah's public support for equality and empowerment. Another claim is that Oprah requests bags of popcorn to cover up the smell of airplane fuel when she flies. While this might seem minor or whimsical, it shows her discomfort with ordinary travel experiences and her desire to maintain a personal comfort zone. These behaviors can be viewed in different ways. Some might see them as harmless quirks of someone used to the spotlight for years. Others might view them as a troubling disconnect from the everyday challenges of the people Oprah has supported throughout her career. Number 12. Oprah's questionable business deals. Oprah Winfrey built a vast empire and earned billions, but some of her business practices raised eyebrows. In 1986, she took over as host of the struggling morning talk show AM Chicago. Within a month, she turned it into Chicago's highest-rated talk show, and it was soon renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah's company, Harpo Productions Inc., produced the show, Harpo being Oprah spelled backwards. Oprah earned hundreds of millions from the show through a highly profitable deal with the studio. Some critics argued that the deal was unfair and that Oprah used her influence to secure a larger share of the profits than most hosts would typically receive. Oprah also used her show to promote products and services in which she had a financial stake, without fully disclosing her interests to viewers. For instance, she often featured self-help gurus on her show, promoting their books and advice. What the audience didn't know was that Oprah had business partnerships and ownership interests with many of these gurus, helping to make their books bestsellers, while benefiting financially herself. Oprah Winfrey's promotion of pseudoscience and questionable medical treatments on her show also raised concerns. She gave airtime to controversial guests like anti-vaccination activist Jenny McCarthy and promoted fad diets, alternative therapies, and miracle products that lacked scientific support. Critics argue that Oprah prioritized ratings and profit over providing responsible health information to her viewers. Oprah became the first black multi-billionaire in North America through her media empire. While much of her success was well-earned, some of her business practices and decisions were seen as self-serving, unethical, and potentially harmful. Number 13. Mandatory vegan cleansing. In 2011, Oprah challenged herself and her 378 staff members to follow a vegan diet for a week. The goal was to explore veganism's benefits and promote healthier eating. However, this challenge wasn't just a suggestion. It was mandatory. This turned what could have been a personal choice into something that staff might have felt forced to do, regardless of their own preferences or dietary needs. At its core, Oprah's Vegan Week can be seen as a way to control her staff. By making the diet compulsory, she influenced their personal choices and limited their freedom. This raises questions about whether the goal was truly to promote health, or if it was more about asserting control over her employees' lives. Forcing a vegan diet on a large group ignores the different backgrounds, dietary needs, and cultural practices of individuals. It assumes that one diet fits everyone, which is unrealistic and could be harmful. People's food choices are personal and influenced by health issues, cultural traditions, and personal likes. By making veganism mandatory, Oprah didn't consider these individual differences and preferred a one-size-fits-all approach. Although Oprah presented the vegan challenge as a way to promote health and ethical eating, some critics wonder if there were other motives. Was it really about caring for her staff's well-being? Or was it a way to boost her brand's image with the trend of veganism and healthy living? Number 14. The nature of her relationship with her mom. Oprah Winfrey had a difficult and distant relationship with her mother, Vernita Lee. They never developed a close mother-daughter bond. Vernita, who worked as a housekeeper in Milwaukee, couldn't care for Oprah full-time. Because of this, Oprah spent her early years living with her grandmother, Hattie Mae Lee, in Mississippi. This separation created an emotional distance between Oprah and her mother that only grew wider over time. When Oprah moved to Milwaukee to live with her mother at age 6, it wasn't the warm reunion she might have expected. Vernita was overwhelmed with work and responsibilities, leaving little time to build a close relationship with Oprah. Instead of feeling loved and supported, Oprah often felt like a burden rather than a cherished daughter. This experience deeply impacted her sense of self-worth and belonging. When Oprah was 14, she went to Nashville to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey. This change showed how distant she was from her mother, Vernita. Unlike Vernita, who stayed distant, Vernon gave Oprah stability and guidance. Oprah has said that she and her mother never really connected and didn't have the warmth she found with others, like her friends or her mentor, Maya Angelou. Because Oprah didn't get much support from her mother, she looked for it elsewhere. She became very close to her best friend, Gayle King, and her mentor, Maya Angelou. These relationships became like a real family for Oprah, giving her the love and support she missed from her mother. Oprah and her mother, despite their troubled relationship, found peace before Vernita passed away in 2018. During Vernita's final days, Oprah and her half-sister Pat, who was adopted as a baby and reunited with the family later, cared for her. This experience was deeply meaningful for Oprah, helping her face their difficult past and find some closure. Number 15. Controversial beliefs. Oprah Winfrey is well known for her talk show and strong opinions. Lately, she's been in the news for changing her views on weight loss, which has caused a lot of discussion. Over the years, Oprah has tried many diets and exercise plans and shared her experiences with her audience. Many people have admired her honesty, but some have criticized her for focusing too much on weight and appearance. For a long time, Oprah spoke out against weight loss drugs, saying they were a shortcut and that weight loss should come from healthy eating and exercise. Recently, however, she revealed that she now uses weight loss drugs herself. This change has confused and upset some people. Oprah's new stance seems inconsistent, as she previously promoted natural health methods and now supports the very drugs she once criticized. This shift has made some people question her authenticity. Oprah has a lot of influence, and millions of people listen to what she says. By supporting weight loss drugs, she might encourage others to use them too, even if it might not be the best option for them. Some worry that this could lead people to depend too much on drugs instead of making healthier lifestyle changes. That wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. For more fascinating stories about your favorite celebrities, click on the next video that's about to appear on your screen.